Good morning all of you. We will start with a new topic today. Simple, compound and complex sentences. Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning beta. Now according to the structure, if you remember the first chapter that we did in English language, we studied about the different types of sentences. Yes, what are the different types of sentences?
Yes.
According to their functions. Now that division is according to their function, the work that they do. What are those types of sentences according to function, the different divisions? Come on class.
Ma'am, declarative sentence.
Okay,
Ma'am,
declarative,
declarative,
then
interrogative. Ma'am,
declarative again,
Ma'am, interrogative.
interrogative. Ma'am, imperative.
and exclamatory.
Imperative.
Okay, so we have four types according to
Exclamatory.
function. Four types of sentences according to their function. Now, according to their structure, means according to how they are made, we have three divisions: simple, compound, and complex sentences. Okay, so we will study about these here only. First is simple sentences. Okay, let's see what are simple sentences. So, they
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, page number.
page number is 94.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So they contain only one thought. Okay? One thought and one finite verb. Now, if you remember, when we were doing the infinitives, we studied about the difference between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Do you remember anything?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
Finite. Ma'am,
yes,
finite verbs change according to the number and place.
right. The finite verbs, they change according to number and they change according to tense. Whereas the non-finite verbs, they do not change. Okay. So
Do
finite
not
verb,
change.
they
Do not change.
yes, they contain a subject. Subject will be in agreement, means it shows agreement with the subject, and it changes according to tense and number. That are finite verbs. Okay. So what would be a simple sentence? Simple sentence would be a sentence which has a subject and only one finite verb in it. Subject and one finite verb. Why? Because we have written it just contains one thought. So it has a subject and only one finite verb. That is called a simple sentence. Now, a simple sentence also, it is also sometimes called as an independent clause, or it is also an independent clause. Not called, but it is also an independent clause. Now, what is a clause? I think we have discussed about the clauses earlier also.
Yes, ma'am. Relative clause. Yes, ma'am.
So, because we will study about clauses here also, so let's see. What is a clause? What is a clause? What do you remember? Let me see how much.
Ma'am, a clause is something that tells more about the sentence. Ma'am, that gives more detail to the sentence.
Yes, anyone else? Not always true. That is a phrase. Phrase is a group of words which make some sense but not a complete sense. That is a phrase. Now, what is a clause? Clause, first, it is a part of a sentence. Alright? Part of a sentence, it contains a subject and predicates of its own. It also has a verb in it. Now, clauses are of basically two types: principal or the main clause and subordinate or the dependent clause. Now, what is the principal or the main clause? That part of a sentence which can stand on its own as a complete sentence and it does not require the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete. That would be a main clause. Alright? Independent. Why? That is why the term independent. Why? Because it does not require the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete. It is a part of a sentence, but on its own it can stand as a complete sentence also. Whereas the dependent or the subordinate clause would be which requires the rest of the sentence to make its sense complete. That would be a dependent on the or the subordinate clause. So what will be a simple sentence? as a complete sentence. So that is a simple sentence. For example, like here what they have given, dark clouds are gathering. Alright. So just one thought. What is one thought? Dark clouds are gathering. That is just simply one thought. Then one finite verb. What is the finite verb here? Yes.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Yes, ma'am.
It will change.
Your voice is breaking too much.
It can also change. The fourth thing will change. Are gathering.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Yes, Rita.
And it is too late. Ma'am, your voice is breaking very much.
My voice is breaking.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The day when we have problem, then alright, just hold on for a minute, maybe it will become better. Alright, the second is compound. Compound sentences. Okay. Now what are compound sentences? A sentence which is formed by adding or joining two or more principal clauses, two or more main clauses. Simple sentences also, one main clause, one principal clause, and the compound sentences are also formed by adding two or more principal or the main clauses, and they are added by, when you add sentences, you add it through a conjunction. Yes, so they are added by a conjunction which is called as a
Yes, ma'am.
coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction, and the examples of coordinating conjunctions are for, and, but, nor, or, yet. So they are called as coordinating conjunctions. So sentences, two independent clauses, more than two also, two or more independent clauses joined together with the help of a coordinating conjunction, it is called as a compound sentences. Okay. Then example. Now we said that it is formed of two or more main clause. Now see, he turned left. Now that is a compound sentence also. That is a
Ma'am,
yes. And she turned right. That also. We are joining it with the help of a conjunction which is called as a coordinating conjunction.
ma'am, the board is not clear. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, and your voice is also not clear. Ma'am, you're not audible. Ma'am, the
Alright.
board is not clear and you're also
Yes,
not
what are
audible.
you saying?
Ma'am, your board is not clear. Ma'am, the board is not
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Okay, yes, I understood your voice is breaking. I have tried both the networks. I think might be some problem. Till now I had two classes, no problem. I don't know why. Just bear a little bit. And I am not writing something like that which you really need, or I can send you the screenshot also. And when we do the exercise, then I will dictate it so you can mark it. There will be no problem. Okay, so compound sentences formed by adding two or more main clause with the help of a coordinating conjunction. And the third is the complex sentences. Now complex sentence will have one main clause and at least one subordinate clause also. It can have more than one also. But one main clause and one subordinate clause is required to make it a complex sentence. Alright? Okay, so one example of complex also. teacher realized that the students weren't prepared. Okay. Now the students weren't prepared. Now if you see at this part of the sentence, the students weren't prepared. Now can it stand on its own as a complete sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. So
Yes.
it will be the main clause or the independent clause. But see the other part. The teacher realized. Is it making complete
Ma'am,
sense?
subordinate clause. No, ma'am, subordinate
No.
clause.
So it is not making a complete sense. It requires the rest of the sentence to make a sense complete. So it is subordinate clause. So at least one main clause and one subordinate clause, that will make it a complex sentence. Okay. Let's try to do the exercise here. Identify these sentences as simple, compound or complex. First one. What goes up comes down.
Ma'am, compound sentence.
Compound.
It was not clear at all. What do you think? Complex. It is complex. Second, go to the shop and buy some fruit and right compound
Compound.
sentence. What you see is what you get.
Complex.
Complex. Good.
Complex.
Have you seen or heard from Hari recently? Have you seen?
Compound.
Compound sentence.
Compound. Right. Or the big brown dog ran under the blue after the blue and red ball.
Complex. Simple.
We are talking about one thing only. So what is that?
Ma'am, simple.
Simple. It is simple.
Simple sentence.
On reaching the shop, don't forget to buy some fruit. Think again.
Ma'am, complex.
Simple, right? Because you know it is only one thought. We are talking about just one thing, not more than that. Okay? Just one thought it will carry. And
Ma'am, sixth one.
also one finite verb. Keep in mind that also it is simple. Before the queen rode in the parade, she gave a speech.
Complex.
Complex, very good.
No.
It is complex.
Yes, ma'am.
See, two things, two thought. Before she rode in the parade, what did she do? She gave a speech.
She gives.
Next, James and Tina rode their bicycles after they ate lunch.
Compound.
Just because
Compound.
it is written James and Tina. James and Tina is the subject here. No, it is not simple. It is complex. It is complex.
Complex.
James and Tina rode
Complex.
their bicycles after they ate lunch. You, not I, have to be at the station at 5 in the morning.
Simple.
Simple.
Compound.
It is simple.
No, ma'am, simple. Ma'am,
Yes,
simple.
it is simple.
Simple.
Ma'am, your voice is very breaking.
Beta, I can understand, but you know I cannot do anything about it. You can go through the recording if you have missed anything, and from there you can mark. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Next, we have to go to bed when the clock chimes 10 o'clock.
Simple. Complex.
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 Yes, complex. The teacher and the principal met in the hall near the library.
Compound.
Simple.
Simple.
Compound.
Right, simple. The pearl disappeared into the ocean depths, never to be seen again.
Complex.
The pearl
Simple.
disappeared into the ocean, never to be seen again. It is is also simple.
Simple.
Simple. Many brave soldiers fought in the war and they received medals.
Compound. Next. No, compound.
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 See two sentences.
And
Many brave soldiers fought in the war, and the second part is they received medals. Okay, compound. When the sky is cloudy, I like to sit outside.
simple.
Complex.
Simple.
Complex.
Complex. See both parts. When the sky is cloudy, is it a complete sentence?
No,
No,
ma'am.
it is requiring the rest of the sentence. But the other part is okay. I like to sit outside. That can stand on its own as a complete sentence. So it has one main and one subordinate clause. So it is complex. She dropped the pan and the plate, but she held on to the spoon.
Ma'am, compound. Compound.
Compound.
Good.
Compound.
They dug at the spot where it was marked X.
Simple.
Simple.
Ma'am,
Simple.
complex. Complex.
Ma'am, complex. Complex. Ma'am,
Complex.
Right. They dug at the spot is okay. Where it was marked X. So it is complex. Alright, number 17. After midnight, some people say the ghosts come out of the haunted attic.
Ma'am, simple.
Ma'am, complex. Complex. Complex.
Yes, it is complex. Like, see, after midnight, some people say that is incomplete. And the second part, the ghosts come out of the haunted attic. That is complete. So it is complex. I always felt that we would meet again, but didn't think that it would happen so soon.
Compound.
Okay, compound.
Compound.
Good.
Compound.
Yes. Next, there at the bottom of the trunk lay the old album, the pictures faded and crumbling. Yet none of us had even thought of searching for it in that obvious place.
Complex.
Compound.
Compound. Like, see both the parts. First part, there at the bottom of the trunk lay the old album, the pictures faded and crumbling. First part. Second, none of us had even thought of searching for it in the obvious place. Both are main clauses. They are independent. Alright, they can stand on their own as complete sentences. Joined by yet, which is a coordinating conjunction. Hence, it is a compound sentence. And the last one. Blessed are the poor, for they don't ask much. Yes, it is also compound. Blessed are the poor.
Compound.
Alright. They don't ask for
Ma'am,
much.
what is the last answer?
Compound.
Last is also compound. See both the parts. Blessed are the poor. That is also complete. They don't ask for much. That is also a complete sentence. Joined by a coordinating conjunction for. So it is also compound.
Ma'am, what
Alright.
is the sixth one?
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, what is the sixth one?
Sixth one. Sixth is simple.
Ma'am, what was the ninth one?
Ninth is also simple.
Ma'am, please tell the seventh one.
Seventh is complex.
Okay.
Yes. Has anyone else missed anything?
Ma'am, 12th.
Simple.
12th is simple.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Anyone else?
Ma'am, eighth.
8th is complex. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
11th. 11th is also simple.
Ma'am, done.
Okay. Alright. So this completes
Done.
this